Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon again, folks. Welcome to today's, fourth video. I'm front loading. I like sleep. We're going to that horrible world known as the JRC again, folks. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by Autistics for Autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. How about that, doctor experts? In fact, they don't want you reading this article so much, they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. So you know the drill, folks. Please read that article and share on all your social media. We have NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We also have the pertinent links to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens that has and pending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it that include sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, and starvation, and that's just for starters. We got one staff member arrested by the FBI, another, a doctor who's still on the premises with full access to the kids, up on multiple, substantiated by the Department of Social Services with hard evidence, claims of sodomy, sexual assault, and rape of the students there. We have an attorney general too busy doing stupid, pointless, fucking lawsuits against the Biden administration instead of doing his job for fucking Missouri to care about those kids. And for the love of God, somebody stop the governor. And please take away his fucking phone. So, folks, please read those articles and share on all your social media. Don't forget to share and sign the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. We got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and talk about dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger, parental supervision is advised. Trigger warning. We are about to descend into the mad ravings of a lunatic mind known as Dr. Israel. You're going to hear victim blaming. You're going to hear condescension and appeals to authority. You are going to hear gaslighting. You're going to hear lies, and you are going to hear abuse apologia abounds. You're going to hear torture being called therapy. So just be prepared for that, all right? Okay, now here's where he's going to try to throw the authors of MDRI under the bus and make you think that they're all people who are disabled. But some of us disabled people, doctor, have doctorate degrees. Oh, but we can't be bothered with that, can we? The authors of the MDRI report appear to have bought into the anti-adversive philosophy even without ever visiting JRC or discussing a single concern with any of the current JRC clinicians or parents, or with many of the current and former students who are supremely grateful for the treatment they receive and the life-saving progress they've made at JRC. Oh my God, can you stop with the run-on sentence? My grandmother just rolled in her grave. Okay, let's tear it apart, shall we? I do enjoy doing that. It's not a philosophy! Being anti-torture is not a philosophy, doctor. It's a way of life. It's called do no harm. You know, the medical thing that you all quote when you get your doctorate degrees? Yeah, that. But the drill, Tiffany, the drill. I've never seen a dentist use a fucking drill since numbing medicine has become available without anesthetic. You can't claim the same, doctor. You do not give these kids any type of painkillers or medication in order to reduce the pain of the electricity you are shooting through their skin that you designed to hurt them. Your own words, doctor. Your own words. As far as never visiting the JRC or talking to the parents, why the fuck am I going to talk to a parent who's drank the Kool-Aid? That'd be the equivalent of me going to talk to a leader of a fucking cult and just taking everything he said to heart with no evidence to back it up. You tell me that we have a problem with taking in the opposing view. It's not that we don't, doctor. In fact, that's what we're doing here. It's what we're doing here. It's that your arguments make no sense. None. No sense at all. None. Okay? None. You like to point the finger at us and New York for not just letting us give you the guided tour. Because the guided tour is a lie, doctor. Your videos are lies. And because of your former students, since you brought them up, we know that in those videos, you force those kids, will trigger those kids into those behaviors so you can get your before and after. When it's all actually done all in the same afternoon. And if those kids do not perform in those videos, we know how they're punished. So in Jennifer Masumba's blog, folks, please go to Autistic Hoya's massive archive where you will find all Jennifer Masumba's blogs and talking on this school. You will find her actual accounts of how these propaganda videos and so-called testimonials come to be by then going immediately to the 2006 New York report where they, with an unbiased investigation, were able to corroborate that blog post. Again, you call it life-saving, doctor. Funny you mentioned that. Because your treatment has killed 6 fucking kids. Has put even more than that in the hospitals. We know for a fact that you are forced to take the kids off the GED when the GED does so much damage that you have to allow the kid to heal before putting it back on. So much for completely harmless, right? And we know this because it has been talked about by survivors, corroborated by the New York report, and corroborated by doctor and ER visits from the students who have managed to escape your hellhole. You gonna tell me those doctors don't know what they're talking about when they're looking at injuries? Go ahead. I've got all day. I don't call forced testimonials being grateful. I call it smiling and telling me whatever my torturer wants to fucking hear so that I won't be on the board later that evening. Coerced testimony is inadmissible in any court of law, and that's why. Apparently, the views of the MDRI report's authors have been formed solely based on what they have heard from other anti-aversive advocates. Lie. That's a lie, doctor. An approvable one. They were, in fact, also formed on the ER documents of people who have come from your school. They also come from DESI reports by Massachusetts DMR. They also come from video surveillance. Sorry, this is at the level of the stupid we're dealing with. Video surveillance footage. Your own video surveillance footage. Remember doctor the fact that the reason why you're not the head of this school anymore is because you took a plea deal to avoid jail time due to the fact that you ordered your staff to destroy evidence. If it's so life-saving, why are you trying to hide it? Alright. Remarkably, while only hearing about JRC second and third hand from those who already opposed JRC and aversives, they are nonetheless felt qualified to make the judgment that JRC offers is torture and not treatment, and to put our official-looking report that pretends to document and prove their case. Oh, but it does, doctor, because what you're not going to tell any of these parents is that MDRI, they got receipts. They actually were qualified, doctor. You want to know why they were qualified? Because MDRI is not just made up of disability advocates. It's also made up of disability advocates that worked in the damn field. Kind of like myself. Although some of these folks are even more qualified than blah, because they have psychologist license, psychiatrist license, doctorates, master's degrees. They have written clinical scientific papers that have been reviewed by peers all over the country, something that you to this day cannot provide. When Anderson Cooper did his deep dive into you back in 2012, you all could not produce, although you said you had them, could not produce a single current doctor at that time who did a peer review study on any of the papers put out by the JRC on your so-called treatment. Not a single fucking one. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. Zilch. They didn't pretend anything, doctor. They used the New York report. They used survivor testimony. They used ER medical documents, DESI documentation. The court cases that is fully accessible to the public from California and Rhode Island. They talked to the parents of the 6 fucking dead kids. They went over the court cases of Linda Cornelius and the others you fucking murdered. That is not just taking second hand and third hand, doctor. That's taking first hand. And you want to talk about having a rational conversation. Fuck me. I'm going to close out on this nonsense. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye. I get something to eat, good God.